focused, false, money driven, major fraud, breathless, body, diamond, bones, wanna be it, wanna feel it.
What a grind.
Shut up. Man, 2K swim. Swimming is feeling a lot better. I'm starting to get a little bit better and I can kind of float a little bit, but no one cares. Anyway, so something that I value quite a lot and I think is super important is all of these crazy numbers that actually come out of devices. And I love particular numbers and metrics that help us to understand what we're doing right and doing wrong in our training and help us to pretend that we're, you know, elite athletes. And there are so many devices out there that actually help you do this, like, you know, this watch here and this bike computer that I got the other day, this Garmin 955, and also just your actual phone too. They all help. This is some really good shit. And thanks to capitalism, I guess, there's all kinds of crazy devices out there, like rings that you can wear that measure things throughout the day. You can get like VO2 max sensors that are wireless. You just put them on your face and you can just know stuff. You can get core temperature sensors. You can even get a little pill that you can put inside your asshole to check your core temperature while you're doing exercise. There's everything out there. 2024 is unreal for understanding data. You have no excuses. But I have to admit, a lot of these numbers are actually complete shit and they don't actually help at all. They're just really cool to look at. Like, oh, look at this number, look at that number. There are very specific numbers that are very important and all the rest, put them in the bin. Okay, let's stop fucking around. Let's get real serious. There are actually 3 metrics I think are so important for you to be able to smash all your PBs in cycling or swimming or running or, you know, that new Hyrox thing that all the fake natty people are doing. That too. These 3 metrics will help you to get better in everything and probably just make your life a lot better too, who knows? And one of these super special crazy numbers, you don't even need any devices for, you just need your own body. How's that for some clickbait? Be sure to stay to the end of the video and find out what that is. And like, comment, and now the reason why these metrics are so important is that they actually let you know if you're overdoing it and if you're actually absorbing the training that you're doing. And the way that I see it is that if you're not absorbing the training that you're doing, it would have been better if you actually just didn't fucking do it. Because I see a lot of people out there who just do really hard things for the sake of doing really hard things, and it doesn't really make sense. Because you're not a hero if your legs are absolutely trashed and you have the flu and you've barely slept and the decision that you go with is, yeah, I'm just gonna go one more and do another session and, you know, just hope for the best. Fuck that. What we want to do is actually focus on these 3 metrics to make sure that we're not overtraining, adapting to everything that we're doing, and making running not as difficult as eating cement. So the first metric is HRV. Now we've all heard of it before, but what does it actually mean? Well, it's actually what determines whether you do this big hero VO2 max session or you say, nah, actually, I'm gonna have a rest day today. So here's how it works. This device actually measures the time difference between each of your heartbeats, and it measures the variability from heartbeat to figure out whether you're actually really stressed systemically or not, because your heart actually has these little bundles of nerves inside the heart itself that actually control and regulate the speed of the heart. So basically, if your head was cut off, your heart would beat for a little bit of time. But there are actually areas in your brain stem that control your heart rate and can kind of, from the top down, regulate your heart rate. And that is what the autonomic nervous system does. And so if you're stressed as fuck, your sympathetic nervous system is gonna ramp up and that is gonna change your heart rate variability. So basically, if your HRV is fucked, then your body right now is fucked. And this could be anything, you know, sickness, overtraining, stress from work, or, you know, from having kids or something like that. So if your HRV is absolutely in the bin and you're about to go to the track and do 10 times 400 meters at VO2 max, it's probably a better choice to just skip it and just go on an easy run or have a rest day, because you're not going to adapt to it. So what's the point doing it? And you're probably going to put yourself in a big fatigue hole. Yeah, not good. Like, I'll show you what I mean on my phone. When I came back from Europe, obviously traveling for like 24 hours on a plane over a 48-hour period was absolutely brutal, and barely sleeping due to jet lag and also getting the flu resulted in my HRV going from an average of 110 or whatever it normally is to like 30. And so what did I do? I fucking rested for a week and I basically just stayed in bed. So if it's good, we can go on to checking the second metric, and if it's not, then you're having a rest day, and I'm gotta go to work now. See ya. What the fuck? Bro, as this day goes on, the weather is getting worse. Like, where did this wind come from? Now the plan was to go on a really long bike ride tonight, maybe 2 hours through the nice scenic, vineyards and stuff that Adelaide's famous for, but fuck that. When it's like so windy and rainy like this, I'd rather just go on Zwift, so might have to do that. We've got a package, and one that's actually quite related to this video. So they're like pedals that you put on your bike that have like a little strain gauge in them so that you can measure your power of your riding, I guess. And once again, it's another data point for you to use to monitor your training and figure out whether you're going too hard or going too easy, or if one day you're so tired that you can barely push any power through the pedals. Very important. So metric number 2, rather than it being a very acute, in the moment determinant as to whether you're ready to train, like HRV is, this metric actually helps you to look a little bit more long-term in your training history to figure out whether you are overdoing it right now or not. And that metric is training load. It's pretty much in every app that you can use nowadays to track your training. Chorus has it, Garmin has it, Apple probably have it, I wouldn't even know. I've been using Training Peaks. Training Peaks has it too, and Strava definitely has it too. And what we're trying to do is monitor our acute training load in relation to our chronic training load, and if they are out of balance. I'll show you what I mean. I'll just go get the whiteboard. So in most of these apps, the training load will be given in a range. So to be like, this number to this number is your general chronic training load. And your actual training load for that week will be somewhere in that or above. And that's how you can start to compare what's gone on in the past to what's going on now to give you clues as to whether you fucked it up this week or not. So in a scenario where our HRV is fine, HRV is fine, and we go ahead and we do that session and we still feel absolutely terrible, maybe it's your acute and chronic training load habits that have actually caused that. And so this kind of thing with training load is really prevalent, and it's pretty much, well, the way that I usually see it is that someone starts like a marathon training block and their acute training load spikes up, and in about week 6 they get injured, and it's basically, they're on Facebook trying to sell their ticket to whatever race they are in because they've just fucked it all up. So we need to monitor our training load. I would say that the top end of that zone, you know how it gives you the 2 numbers? If we're 10% above that top end of our chronic training load, you're asking for trouble. We want to be around that 100%, maybe 105% if you want to make some big changes in our training. But anything above that, you're going to get fucked up, and that's metric number 2. But both of those training metrics are completely useless if we aren't doing this last thing. Clickbait, remember?
Rage, power, weakest, forward, money, driven, major, fraud, breathless, bloody, diamond, bones, wanna be it, wanna feel it.
We are back on, and that took quite a long time.
Breathe you like a cigarette, lovesick, I'm feeling it. You're not the one, but I still want you like the beat in my chest. Lovesick, I'm feeling it. I know you're not the one, but I still wanna light up.
So I love training. Some days I just can't wait to get on the bike or get out on a run, or sometimes I should get in the pool and just fucking rip. But there are also other days where I absolutely just hate training. and I just need to have a rest. You're probably inherently motivated already. So relying on motivation to get you out the door doesn't really matter anymore because you've already got that habit, you know, cemented in your brain. So if you love this so much and you can't get yourself out of the door to do it, there's something seriously wrong, right? Because the thing is, you could be the most motivated guy in the world, but eventually your willpower will just run out and all you're doing is hammering yourself and overtraining. And how cool is this tunnel? If you're always just overtraining yourself and doing sessions and races and stuff when you're absolutely cooked mentally, you're going to lose all of your willpower and eventually you're just going to give up. And I see so many people who come into this kind of sport or endurance sport in general and go way too hard for a couple of years and then they just give up and do something else. Look at those kangaroos. So yeah, HRV is really important. And so is monitoring your training load, but also just think about how you actually feel. Do you feel like shit even though you're super fit? If so, that's not good. But seriously, it's windy as fuck, so I'll see you when I get home.
Breathe you like a cigarette, love sick, I'm feeling it. You're not the one, but I still want you like the beat in my chest. Love sick, I'm feeling it. I know you're not the one, but I still wanna light up. Still want you in my body, still want you in my veins. Yeah, my mind's getting caught and set me off like a flame.
Man, wouldn't it be funny if all of that was just completely inaudible due to the wind? Guess we'll find out when I edit this later. So, remember this. Do not forget this ever again in your life. How to not fuck up your training. Step 1, check your HRV. If it's unbalanced, no send. If it is, check training load. If that is not balanced and if acute is way above chronic, no send. But if it's good, check how you feel. How you feel is so important. If it is the case that you feel like absolute dog shit, no send. If you feel epic, go for it. Right. Alright fellas, it's basically almost my bedtime, so I'm going to go quickly make some dinner and then go to bed because it's bedtime. See you on the weekend. Peace. Alright, I'm already in the kitchen. Peace.